Hello everyone. This is the first class introductory lecture on research methodology. If you couldn't attend the class, then you may just know the contents by watching this video. You may also use this for revising. I am Dr. Ravi. I belong to the Department of Public Health Dentistry and I have been teaching research methodology now for the last 14 years. I also go as a guest speaker to various research methodology workshops. I have an additional PG diploma in biostatistics that might just help me in understanding research methodology slightly better. So that's my introduction. Okay, take a guess, make a fair assessment. How many hours do you think a postgraduate student will spend in research related activity? Just take a guess. You may pause this video and list the activities that a postgraduate student does that may be directly or indirectly related to your learning of research methodology. Once you have done that, you can come back to the video. Okay, so an average postgraduate student will do all of these things related to research methodology. First of all, you will need to attend a research methodology class. That would be about 20 hours, about 20 classes. The idea of these classes is not to make you an expert in research methodology. The idea of these classes is that you at least have a usable knowledge of research methodology which you can use in relation to or in supplement to your own specialty. Another activity that you will be required to do within 6 months of your post graduation is preparing a synopsis or study protocol, also called as a study proposal. You will be submitting this to the university, which will give a broad idea, where you are required to give a broad idea to the university what is the research that you will be conducting during the post graduation. So this synopsis will have a blueprint or a plan of that. Okay, what else research related activities you will do? Yes, you will be involving yourself in journal clubs. You will be presenting a journal club. What is a journal club? You choose an article, some research paper, and give a copy to all your colleagues, seniors, juniors, and you will all sit and discuss together with staff members what are the positive points and negative points in that article and how the results of this article will be applicable to your clinical practice. So your knowledge about research methodology will be very handy when you are doing your journal clubs, as well as when you are attending the journal clubs and trying to understand the journal clubs presented by others. One more activity that you will be doing during your post graduation would be searching for research articles. We will have 1 or 2 exclusive lectures on how to search literature. You will also be doing a library dissertation, which is basically compiling all the articles published on a specific topic and understanding those articles and making your own essay or your own compilation out of it. You will also be doing during your post graduation a presentation at a conference, presentation of a research paper or a case report or a novel idea that you have come out with, and you will present it at a conference. For this also you will require sound knowledge of research methodology when you have to defend your work, when you have to present your work or compare your work. Of course, when somebody else is presenting, your knowledge of research methodology will help you in giving a critical comment, constructive comment, and you will also be able to understand other people's research in your conferences and in the seminars. You will of course be doing your main dissertation, a small research work that you will be carrying out independently during your post-graduation with the help of your guide. You will be writing and editing your dissertation, and probably some of you will also make an attempt to write an article and get a publication out of it. Some of you might think and want to attend a research methodology workshop as well. Okay, so to summarize, during post-graduation you will be conducting research, communicating research, and also being a consumer of research. You will conduct research in the form of main dissertation, that is primary research, library dissertation, that is secondary research. You will communicate research as an article. You might communicate a research as a paper or a poster presented at a conference. But for me and for you as well, the most important thing related to research that you will be doing during your post-graduation and till you remain a clinician and a teacher would be that you will be a consumer of research. You will read the articles which others have written to keep yourself abreast with the latest in the field. You will evaluate them and think how much of that will be applicable to your clinical practice. Also, you will utilize that to enhance your own clinical decision-making skills. So, research methodology will come a long way for helping you as a clinician as well. Do you have any current experience in these roles? During your undergraduation, have you conducted any research, survey? Have you presented at a conference or a convention? And have you read an article? Trying to find something new? If yes, pause this video and just reflect on that. I am also giving one or two small reflections for you, just for the sake of, reminding yourself your scientific interest. How often do you read scientific content in digital devices or newspapers? Which branches of science do you like reading? You can just pause the video and maybe make a note of that. Also, you can make a note of or think about what you felt about a science fiction, a sci-fi movie, a sci-fi serial, your experience of visiting a science museum perhaps, or perhaps you have seen a planetarium. Few more reflections, just if you like to do, you could pause the video and do these. Okay, we shall move on. We have some self-assessment for you. You may pause the video whenever I put the question and you may attempt to write an answer or click an answer. Hypothesis is detailed write-up of thesis, assumption arrived at the beginning of research, detailed protocol of proposed research. What is it? You may pause, write your answer and move ahead. Question 2. A study was conducted to know the pain reducing efficacy of a new analgesic, analgesic A. The researcher conducted a study with new analgesic given to test group, which we term as cases, and standard analgesic to a comparison group, a control group. This type of study is an example of case control study, longitudinal observation, clinical or experimental study. Which one of them? Question 3. Which of the following is a longitudinal study requiring a follow-up? Case control study, cohort study, cross-sectional study. You may pause, give an answer, move ahead. Question 4. Investigator wishes to study the effects of tobacco chewing on various diseases like periodontal disease, delayed wound healing, oral precancers. Which type of study would you advise him? A case control study, a cohort study, a cross-sectional study, and justify your advice. Why would you advise a case control study or a cohort study or a cross-sectional study? Justify it. You may answer and then move ahead. Question 5. Investigator wishes to study the effect of tobacco chewing on various diseases like periodontal disease, delayed wound healing, oral precancers. What could be the main issue concerning the investigator? Or what could be some of the issues that investigator has to consider? You may write a few points, write your answer, and you can move ahead. Question 6. In a randomized clinical trial or randomized control trial, the word randomization refers to random allocation of study participants to groups, random selection of study subjects based on simple random sampling, randomly selecting patients based on investigator's convenience. Which one is the answer? You may pause, write the answer, move ahead. Question 7. In a group of 21-year-old students with sample size of 85, a new anti-plaque agent, Mistinarin, was found to reduce plaque by 70%. Could you advise this drug to patients suffering from periodontitis? If yes, why? If no, why? If you have some other answers, why? Question 8. The following are the measures of salivary flow rate after giving saliva stimulators in patients with xerostomia. So, drug A, drug B, and these are the salivary flow rates of those many patients. So, the question is, what are the measures which measures will help you to compare which drug is better? What all you will calculate here? It's a very open-ended question. Question 9. The following are the measures of central tendency. What's your answer? Mean median mode, range mean deviation standard deviation, rate ratio proportion. What's your answer? Okay, have a look at this bar graph. Which method of data presentation is this? Of course it's a bar graph. But which type of bar graph? Okay, so we have had 10 questions and we will discuss the answers to these questions during our classes, right? But still, in this video, I will now give very quickly all the answers to the questions. Hypothesis is an assumption arrived at the beginning of research. This study is an experimental study. The answer for question 2 is experimental study. Answer for question 3, longitudinal study requiring follow-up is a cohort study. If effect of tobacco chewing on various diseases, so multiple diseases you want to study, you would better study a cohort study. This requires a discussion, so we could have that in the class. Answer for this. Randomized control trial, the word randomization refers to random allocation of study participants to groups. This requires a discussion, rest of them require a discussion. The answer here is mean median